In 4.1, the first theorem that you need to learn is called the triangle sum theorem, and it states that the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So if I have a triangle ABC, then all its angles A, B, and C would equal to, the sum would equal to 180 degrees. So here's a proof from my website. So the first step would just be to state the given triangle ABC. And then the second step would be to draw an auxiliary line through point B parallel to segment AC. And then we can say that DBE is a straight angle. And if it's a straight angle, then the measure of it must be equal to 180 degrees. And then we can state that measure angle 1 plus measure angle 2 plus measure angle 3 is equal to measure angle DBE. Now, since line DBE is parallel to AC, and we can see that this side of the triangle is a transversal. So angle 1 must be congruent to angle A, and angle 3 must be congruent to angle C. So I stated that in step 6. And then I could change this to measure angle 1 is equal to measure angle A, and measure angle 3 is equal to measure angle C by the definition of congruent angles. And then by substitution, I can state that measure angle A plus measure angle 2 plus measure angle C is 180 degrees. And that's the proof. And theorem 4.2, called exterior angle theorem, states that the measure of an exterior angle, so we have angle 1 here, of a triangle is equal to the sum of the measures of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So we're talking about angle A and angle B here. So measure angle 1 is equal to measure angle A plus measure angle B. And here I have a proof. So I'm going to extend this side of the triangle, AB, and I'm going to put a D here. And you're given this triangle ABC and the ray ABD. So I can say that angle 2 and angle 4 form a linear pair. And if they're a linear pair, we can say that they're supplementary. And then we can therefore state measure angle 2 plus measure angle 4 is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, and then my next strategy is to state that measure angle 1 plus measure angle 2 and 3 is 180 degrees by the triangle sum theorem. And then I can substitute step 4 and step 5 and say that measure angle 2 plus measure angle 4 is equal to the sum of angles 1, 2, and 3. And by the reflexive property, I can say angle 2 is equal to measure angle 2. Now this is an extra step. You can choose to show it or not show it. And then lastly, by subtraction, I could cancel out the 2 and state that measure angle 4 is equal to the sum of measure angle 1 and measure angle 3, which was what we were trying to prove, the exterior angle theorem. Okay, for example 2, we want to find the measure of angle DCB and angle 1. So we're talking about this angle and this angle. And do ignore this DCB here. Okay, so I'm going to set 3x by the exterior angle theorem. I'm going to set 3x minus 9 equal to the sum of 73 and x. And then I'm going to solve for x. And then x would equal to 41. And then I'm going to take this variable expression here and evaluate for x. And this would be 114 degrees. And this other one, we have 3x plus 16, and we're going to set it equal to 52 plus 2x. So x, we have 36, and then if x is 36, then what can we do here? Measure angle 1 must be 56. Now, there's a corollary to the triangle sum theorem, and that is that if you're given a right triangle, the acute angles of this right triangle are complementary. And there is a proof for this, and we will talk about this later in class. So measure angle A plus measure angle B is equal to 90 degrees, which is very obvious. Okay, one more example. The front face of a wheelchair ramp shown forms a right triangle. Okay, the measure of one acute angle in the triangle is 8 times the measure of the other. So this must be x and this must be 8x. Find the measure of each acute angle. So I could take 8x and x and add it together to get 9x. And by using the corollary to the triangle sum theorem, I could set it equal to 90 degrees. And x is equal to 10 degrees, and the other one would be just 80 degrees. So 80 degrees and 10 degrees. And we will continue the lesson in class.